Like the grapes on the vine, the world of wine is full of dreams and disaster. The taste of both will soon come to this man. Meet Joseph Gaston Pierre Bernard Hadley Beauregard.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Bernie for short.
In a cup.
Of course, Bernie's an expert in names and in branding. In his corporate life, he shaped the look of chocolates, beer, even garbage trucks. Then he struck out on his own, trying to find a niche in the wine industry. He rescued one winery in the Okanagan by christening it Blasted Church, the nickname of a nearby historic chapel. And he launched another on Salt Spring Island with this look.
We've been so successful this year that the wine is almost all gone.
If he can create a third hit brand, his reputation will be golden, and business will flow for years to come.
I love a challenge, and this one is as big as it comes.
The big challenge is David and Liz Avery, owners of the painfully named A Very Fine Winery.
We believe that we need to recreate ourselves. We need a new image, we need a new name, we need a new label, and it's got to happen now.
It's got to happen because the Averys have spent 6 years turning an old stone quarry into an organic vineyard.
I always tell my kids that I want my ashes spread in the vineyard.
Now, it's their dream that's dying. 8 acres of vines are strangling them with $1 million of debt.
What do you mean it's not in balance? I don't mean it is in balance.
Sales are sour, bottles are piling up, and so are the bills. A new name is their last hope for the future.
We planted our fortune out here. We've invested the whole kit's caboodle. We bet the farm.
Bernie's betting his career on it.
This could be a dramatic turnaround situation, or it could fall flat on its face.
Trying to bring this brand to life in the next 3 months will push him to the edge.
You're making my heart palpitate here, pal. No ka-ching ka-ching yet for me. This may be the greatest idea that never happened.
Will the Brandman end up eating sour grapes? We're about to find out. Brandman Bernie's just minutes from the Avery's place in Abbotsford. Minutes from pitching a name that could change his future and theirs.
I have spent shy of 3 weeks on this one, trying to work out what is truly the perfect name for their business.
The Averys need a name that will give them credibility and mystique.
What they will not see are all of the crumpled pieces of paper.
From a list of over 300 possibilities, Bernie's picked just one word to make this tiny family winery stand out from all the creeks, hills, and ridges on store shelves. There's just one problem.
If I just surrender it without any payment up front, I'm really vulnerable because the idea is just up in the wind.
The Averys haven't paid a cent of his $15,000 fee yet.
Hello, hello!
But Bernie's going ahead in good faith.
I've got my presentation bucket with me.
The Brandman doesn't do PowerPoint. Try low-tech Jiffy marker.
Timelines are brutal. We need it yesterday.
It's perfect for his reality check with the Averys.
A brilliant name and fantastic wine in the bottle gives you guys only a fighting chance in this marketplace. It is not Nirvana.
Plus, the marker helps him tease out the new name.
What do you think? Just kidding ya. Okay, you ready?
Lotus Land?
Lotus Land.
Lotus Land.
Have you heard the term before?
Lotus Land is a name writer Pierre Burton made up for Vancouver back in 1961. Now, you can find it in the dictionary. Bernie figures the Avery's Abbotsford Winery qualifies as Lotus Land too.
You're taking Vancouver as yours in the name.
Bernie's pitching more than just the name. He's framing an entire marketing concept.
I would like to have a bottle that has a lot of black and white pictures showing different people, like maybe colorful mayors, colorful premiers, artists.
Do you see it as a collage, or is it much more structured than that?
His vision for the Lotus Land brand is 3 different labels. One will feature important Vancouver people, the other 2, special places and things.
I can see the potential. I can see where you're going with all of this. I can see how this concept can continue to develop. I recognize that.
Hello, I'm Liz from Lotusland. Hi.
The Averys get the night to think about it.
I take my presentation bucket back with me.
And Bernie
There you go.
gets the first half of his fee.
Thanks again, Bernie.
Lots to
Thank
think
you
about
very
tonight.
much.
David and Liz scrape together $7,500 by cashing in their last RRSP. After Bernie hits the road, they have a lot to talk about.
We've got signage to change. We've got letterhead. We've got business cards.
If they can't get a new brand launched in the next 2 months, they'll miss the rich Christmas sales season and be bankrupt by New Year's. Is Lotusland the right name to dig them out of $1 million hole?
Either the name grabs us and makes an impression, and therefore we feel it's going to make an impression on the consumer, or it doesn't.
I totally agree. I mean, it has to feel right.
Liz wants until the morning to decide.
Oh, and the smooch too.
That's my cue to leave. The next day, the Brandman's waiting for the Averys' answer.
Will Lotusland live? I don't know.
He'll be embarrassed if it doesn't. He's already lined up some Vancouver celebrities for the label by appealing to their vanity. Shoe retailer John Fluvog, record company exec Terry McBride, and Greenpeace founder Paul Watson have all agreed to do it for free. Former Prime Minister Kim Campbell and Vancouver rocker Biff Naked are thinking about it. Was the Brandman wasting his time?
Here we go.
It's noon when he finds
Hello, Bernie
out.
speaking. I was waiting for this call. We're going to go with your instincts and your wife's butterflies. Okay, now help me through this. I have to understand this a little bit more. Okay, so it's a go. Oh, you should have just said that right from the get-go.
Getting the head start on the celebrities was a good idea. Now, there's no time to waste.
We're late.
It's already September, and to get Lotusland ready for Christmas, the Brandman needs help with his labels.
I wish I could, say that we've got 6 months, but we just don't.
He's paying a freelance graphic designer out of his pocket.
Once we start getting the images together, that's when it'll start working out creatively.
And he's also got a photographer.
Well, it's fairly tight, but it's certainly not impossible.
Yeah. We would like to capture the retail rush for Christmas as well as restaurant. Okay.
The guys are in, but he's pressing them hard.
Lose sleep. We'll make it happen. Okay.
They've got to be fast and cheap.
You saw it yesterday, the Averys don't have many pennies to rub together, and I'm trying to make some magic happen out of those meager pennies, so that's what's involved in it.
Later that night, Brandman is out searching the town.
I hate schmoozing, but I gotta do it, so here we go.
There's not much time to round up more Vancouver celebrities for the label, so he's hitting a fancy art opening, hoping to bag a few. There's Gen X author Douglas Copeland.
Would you like to be on a wine label? On a wine label? On a wine label.
But he's a hard sell.
Is there any sort of charity dimension to it?
No luck here. The Brandman next corners renowned architect Arthur Erickson.
The name of the wine was going to be Lotusland.
He can't blow this chance, so he lays on the charm.
We're trying to honor people who've actually had passions in different areas and walks of life in Vancouver, and we're trying to amalgamate them all in one.
It works.
And
Erickson is in. Then it's TV star Vicky Gabourou. She's a pushover for publicity.
I'm in.
you are so kind. Thank you. It's great. I love it. I love it.
Generous to a fault.
I've been looking for passion all night, and I found it.
Have a dog
This is it.
cookie.
Oh, a dog cookie.
Yeah.
Will you share it with me?
I will.
You will?
Okay, let's
Ready? Oh, isn't that delicious?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
It's a weird and wonderful night at the gallery, and there's good news the next day too.
Good afternoon, David. How are you? I thought I'd give you a shout to tell you that this morning I received an email from the Right Honourable Kim Campbell.
Kim Campbell's in,
Isn't that amazing?
but Bernie has to shift gears. Remember Biff Naked? She's out. and Bernie has a cool crisis. The Lotus Land label has no hip young people.
Can I just ask you guys a few questions if you don't mind?
So Bernie hits a skateboard shop.
Biff Naked. Is anyone similar to her or any others that you might be able to think of that are in that? I'm looking for more of a female kind of cultural influence as well.
He's hoping a fast focus group will fix him up with a cool replacement.
Help me. Work with me. Walk me through this, all right? I don't skateboard.
But forget cool. What Bernie doesn't know is that he's got a much bigger problem.
We're in worse shape than we were when you were last out here.
3 weeks later, trouble at the Avery Vineyard. There's a cash crisis, just as the cost of hiring pickers for harvest is looming.
I'm not on really good terms with my personal bank right at the moment, but they've lost their level of understanding.
Is Lotus Land a lost cause?
There was going to be good news and bad news, and I was going to ask you what you wanted first.
Will Bernie watch his beloved brand die on the vine?
The cork could be pulled out of this and it could just go...
Stay tuned to Venture for part 2 of The Brandman. It's October, and the costs of harvest and bottling are pushing the Averys to the edge.
I'm not on really good terms with my personal bank right at the moment.
By the weekend, Brandman Bernie's got wind of the crisis.
This may be the greatest idea that never happened.
And he calls his team in for the bad news.
I was talking with the bottle suppliers this week, and they've had a hiccup with their requirements for credit with David Avery for the bottles. The cork could be pulled out of this and it could just go...
The Brandman's in a bind. His reputation's on the line. After all, he's got a label covered by the who's who of Vancouver. He has to keep the project going.
We're a team of entrepreneurs. We go in and we look for opportunities where others don't. This one is faint, it's marginal, but the what if keeps us in.
What if all the work pays off, and this is the Brandman's biggest hit ever? All through the next day, Bernie hopes to hear David's made a deal for bottles. At 7 o'clock, he finds out.
Well, there was going to be good news and bad news, and I was going to ask you what you wanted first.
Yeah? You're making my heart palpitate here, pal.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and finalize the design.
David's convinced his bottle supplier to give him a deal for no money down.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Now, Bernie's only got 3 weeks to get Lotus Land launched in November. Time enough to squeeze in one last shoot for the People label with snowboarder Ross Rebliati.
I was wondering how big the pictures were going to be.
But Ross comes with 3 conditions. He wants to be front and center.
So I'm not going to be number 22, right? I'm going to be like number 3 or 4.
Work with the camera, Emma. Work with the camera.
He wants to be photographed with his dog.
Let's see some teeth, Emma. Let's see some teeth.
And if he's in, so is his clothing sponsor. Bernie's not in a position to argue, but he says the front and center place is not negotiable.
I just can't make any backroom deal, but I'll try to make everyone look at their very best, and that's all I really can do. That's a cool shot.
2 days later, all the pictures are in, and it's time to meet with the designer. The artwork has to be at the printers today. Bernie needs David Avery to approve the final designs.
No problem. Liz and I will anxiously be awaiting that email.
Good, and I know that you guys are really busy in harvest and all that, and I appreciate you just kind of pulling away from the field.
Very good. I will get Jackie to page us the moment that arrives.
David just has to get back to Bernie.
Okay, bye-bye.
And Lotus Land will be good to go.
We're going to make it. Alistair and Mark have done their magic, and now it's off to the presses.
But the Brandman's in for another surprise. There's no call back from the Averys that day or the next. With the designs and dozens of decisions up in the air, Bernie calls over and over and writes a series of desperate emails.
Will Lotus Land launch in November or not? David, Liz, Your non-communications with me have me plenty worried. Your disregarding and or stonewalling my calls and emails is bordering on the ridiculous now.
Bernie can only guess why the Averys aren't responding.
Push!
But 2 weeks later,
hello, David. It's Bernie. It's 12:45.
There's a call they can't ignore.
The printers are not going ahead with the job until they hear from you. So can you please look into this? It's make it or break it time. Okay? Thanks. Bye.
The entire rebranding and rescue plan is at a standstill, and the launch is supposed to be in 7 days. What is going on with the Averys?
When I put on the winemaker's hat, for me to do the best job I can, that's the only hat I can wear.
David says they're overwhelmed, but that doesn't cut it with Bernie.
It is a crazy time, granted, and I know that they're a very lean team, but when you have a new brand that's about to be launched, you have to be on top of that.
The project's been a total mess, but his ambition and ego won't let him quit.
I don't want to be a one or two hit wonder. There's a lot of ego involved in it, and it's both a personal and professional ego. I want to see this more than anything to come to reality.
After the nightmare of neglect, the Averys make peace with him, and Bernie makes plans for one last push to launch Lotusland.
As of Friday, you are Lotusland Vineyards.
Yeah.
Voicemails change. Your sign that dangles near your door is coming down.
The Averys owe him another $7,500, but Bernie's reputation is worth far more.
So I have to roll up the sleeves, put in some more sweat equity into it, bring the product to market, and hopefully turn the situation around.
The Brandman is now a salesman. The Averys' wine hasn't been bottled, so Bernie gets samples from David.
Now we've got like a half inch behind. We wouldn't have that on the official label. No.
The labels haven't been printed, so Bernie does mock-ups. Bernie's determined to take his Lotusland to lofty places, well beyond the hotel beer stores, all-day buffets, and wing joints where the Averys' wine is currently sold. First stop,
Lotusland. Sweet packaging.
Bernie's nervous.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
That's okay, that's okay.
And the buyer's stuck on the label.
Well, it's so visually strong in a way, so completely, so powerfully, that it almost loses its connection to the wine.
Uh-oh, maybe this guy needs a drink. A few sips later...
It's sort of epic,
Yeah.
It's like, this befits an epic wine or something.
They like everything about Lotusland.
So the $1 million question is, do you think that Lotusland will find its way to your shelves?
I got a couple of cases on the convert.
That'd be my inclination too.
River Rock?
That's one deal done. But anxious to see if Lotusland really has legs, Bernie hits a few more places.
It's very luscious.
It tastes like wooded cranberry juice.
It smells like a little bit green and vegetal, but also I get sort of a cigar.
He goes 5 for 5 on his first day. Day 2, he's not taking anything for granted.
Maybe it was beginner's luck, I don't know.
But after stop number 6 and sale number 6,
It is.
Lotusland looks like it will be a winner.
Organic plus local. Ka-ching.
But Bernie's still feeling like a loser.
No ka-ching yet for me. I'm waiting for that, and I think I'm at the back of the bus when it comes to that payment.
Still, the Brandman carries on.
Lotusland, catchy name, but like anything, the proof is in the pudding.
He makes sale after sale.
9 for 9.
Before he's even gone 10 for 10.
Spot! A spot! Hang on, James, I got a spot! Woohoo!
The Brandman's one happy salesman.
You are going to attract a cult following.
Finally, the wine gets bottled. It gets labeled. And it's delivered for launch exactly 1 month before Christmas.
Bernie has just been awesome. He's a genius. Like, we've just really had fun working with him. We've pissed him off a few times.
Lotusland lives up to its label and more.
They would like 2 more cases of each.
Brandman Bernie landed 30 accounts in all.
How did you come up with the name Lotusland?
And takes his bows.
The impact the gentleman has had
on our business in 90 days is absolutely phenomenal.
Praise has to stand in for Bernie's final payment today because the Averys will be in debt for a few years to come. But tonight in Lotus Land...
You know what, guys? I'm not so sure about the name. I think we should maybe consider something else. I kind of like, on second thought, I think I like Avery.
The Brandman leaves them laughing. For Venture, I'm James Dunn.